set up an expansion. Meanwhile, Sky having one shredder here. Shredders are fantastic against these breakers, really nice for chasing them away. Sky could do with repairing this town hall as well, because I think it's quite likely to go down, but looks like we have just seen a TP in from Yumiko here, and Sky being forced to just sort of try and back against this wall just so he can get better positioning, but he realizes he's not going to get it, especially with these militia coming in. Militia are so good against breakers, and it looks like Sky will be forced to TP out of here. And Yumiko, very nice position here for him. He's now killed Sky's expansion. He could try and do some more expanding of his own, and I think that, or it's either that or aggression. And at this point, I'm not sure that's too wise, but at the same time, like, he's doing really weird things. Like, both players I think have had scouting priests these games, which seems like a really odd choice. I mean, I guess if you run it away, it can heal itself, which is quite nice, but it's not nearly as nice as a scouting breaker. Maybe a breaker is just seen as more integral to the army. It's costs one more food, things like that. It looks like Sky actually going to come back in here, get a breath of fire just for that priest, or at least attempted priest kill. He's not actually going to get the priest kill, which is a bit of a waste, but this panda still has 430 mana left, so certainly can afford to use these breaths of fire judiciously, and obviously has gone for a drunken haze, or no, drunken brawler second as opposed to drunken haze. And looks like actually Yumiko with a couple breakers being caught out here, and Sky could be able to rebuild those peasants and get back to mining here. And it looks like a very nice breath of fire actually from that panda, considering how many breakers there are. It can be really tricky to get a good breath of fire, and Sky bringing in these militia here. Unfortunately, they don't quite get us around. It could have been quite nice if Sky was paying attention. He could have tried to go for us around, or at least a block on that on the Yumiko's panda, but Sky's panda now hitting level 5. Some dispel should be used. Yeah, finally they go down there just to get rid of that one water elemental, and Yumiko being forced back a bit. I imagine if this game goes on for too much longer, we could actually see some upgrades on the breakers. Obviously, upgrades do eventually start to pay for themselves, but you do need to know that it's going to be a longer game. And it looks like this panda getting so low. Very nice play here, 7 hit points and being microed back. This panda so close to level 5, and mass TP now being used by Yumiko to get out of this battle. You need to be so careful with mass TP because its range is just slightly less than a normal TP, and so it is very easy to accidentally forget units. And so it looks like Sky on level 5 panda, level 5 archmage, so he's a bit behind in experience at this point, and I think this panda is just so close to level 5, even sort of the smallest group, like he could creep this out, because it give him a pretty good item as well, but at the same time I think it's probably worth just letting him heal up a bit before he goes for that. And we're not seeing any blacksmith yet. The mains have run out at this point, and so Yumiko now only on one base, Sky as well, but he could, both players should probably be looking to set up their third, considering how far away the games are. And Yumiko, oh my god, setting in one breaker and using a mass TP, but Sky actually noticing it. Very nice map awareness here, going to be using a mass TP of his own. And the problem with mass TP for coming into defend expansions is that you can't select a position. You can only say I want to teleport to this building. You can't do like scroll of teleportation where you try and TP to a very specific or to a very specific spot, so you can TP on top of things. Unfortunately, you can't do that with the mass teleportation, and it looks like such nice use of sort of the ultimates here, just really gonna be so strong for trying to do some damage. Sky, once he hits level 6, he's gonna be able to use the mass TPs to counter, but in the meantime there's just gonna be so much potential here for harassment by Yumiko, because you can just go attack one place, and then Sky has to TP there, and then Yumiko can just mass TP out. No bolt means that there's absolutely no way to stop this until we see level 6 panda. But I really like the Mount King more in Human Mirrors. I really think it's a stronger hero. I just think you're just too limited with this panda. Panda's still not hit level 5, unfortunately. Really should just do some very simple creeping anywhere, basically, just to get that level 5, because that level 3 Breath of Fire is so useful. But Sky, meanwhile, scouting out with this panda. He does have a scroll or staff of teleportation. He was doing some harassment back here, and eventually had to use that staff of teleportation. But it looks like Sky just gonna be forced to try and get that level 6, but it can become so tricky to get this level 6 now for Sky. Really can become quite a mission, just because you can never really get a kill off on a breaker. I mean, it's so tricky. And meanwhile, Zeppelin coming in here, I really like this play. Unfortunately, Yumiko is all over it, and it looks like he will just be able to, ooh, maybe Yumiko gonna move out. I'm not quite sure. It looks like Sky coming in here, dropping this panda nonetheless, and they're gonna be getting out of here at all these low peasant's going to need to be healed up very quickly before this panda can get back into this battle. And Sky just with his trademark harassment. Meanwhile, it looks like sort of Yumiko doing some counter harassment here. Sky coming in, getting another breath of fire off, not quite getting any kills, and finally being picked up. Took him a bit too long to get off that breath of fire and then to be re-picked up. So he did take a bit of damage, but I think he should be able to drop one third time and maybe get off the kill on this tower at very least, and that would allow this harassment to go on for a lot longer. And it looks like we are seeing a mass DP now to this army here, or to sort of, I imagine it was just one breaker, because that's generally what you use. And it looks like actually Sky can be forced back. He's going to want to staff in his panda as soon as possible. Sky losing a whole bunch of units back here. Really not a good position for Sky to be in. It's so easy to accidentally lose a bunch of units, or a bunch of casters, if you don't have a breaker wall between them and your opponent's panda. That's really when the panda comes into fantastic use. But Sky getting an excellent position here with his breakers. He does seem to be slightly outnumbered, and so Sky managing to sort of get them to huddle around this one arcane tower, which is pretty nice. And looks like Sky trying to run out his panda to try and get off some haze fires off on these priests. Actually, no, I don't think he is. He might have level 1 haze. I'm not entirely sure. Getting one breath of fire off, but not hitting all of the casters. And it looks like Sky could be able to hold this off for now at least. And this panda being forced back, Sky, you can see almost level 6. If you can hit level 6, that'd be absolutely critical. But if Yumiko tries to get out of this battle earlier, then that could be so frustrating for Sky, because Sky can just do so much more harassment. It really limits his ability to expand another time, because he can only defend one expansion at once. Level 6 now for Sky, that is absolutely critical, and that very much puts Sky back in this game. And this massive breaker wall for both sides is looking very strong for Yumiko at this point. Sky forced to retreat. He should probably just, it's so easy to micro macro units, as you can see with a breaker wall, and so Sky probably going to be doing a lot of that. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of posturing for position with mass DP. I mean, this game could go on for so much longer. I love mass DP wars. They're just so unpredictable, so hard to follow. You just need to constantly be aware of what's going on, and we're going to have to see what both players decide to do now that they both have mass DP. I think an Arcane Vault would really be useful here for Sky. To have one at least down here with his army. Even if he had to use the Zeppelin to pick one up, I think that'd be pretty useful. Meanwhile, 4 breakers here. Really weird decision. I wonder if Yumiko, I mean, either he probably wants to do some harassment, maybe he just wants to sort of get these quick priest kills, or priest damage at least. But I think it's probably just the mass DP back in. Yeah, here's the mass DP again. Maybe he missed a couple units with the mass DP when he went out. I wasn't actually watching, but it looks like he did go back and heal. You know, Sky has not healed, and that can be absolutely critical at this point. I mean, he does still have some low breakers. He lost so many priests so early in that game that he didn't have time to heal up all his units again, because he's out of priest. And it looks like Sky might even lose his expansion. You could posturing for position, but can't quite get it. So instead, he goes for sort of the large arc on the on Sky's breakers, and he does sort of manage to get that. That's very nice for him. Although he does have some units more forward than others, and that's really not an ideal position. And looks like Sky gonna at least have this panda fighting outside, and probably gonna want to get a good breath of fire off on. At least he'll be able to kill one priest. But Sky is losing the breaker war quite badly at this point. The nice addition of this panda at the front of the army is just so useful. Neither panda even slightly limited for mana. And there's the earth, wind, fire here from Sky, and looks like he's using Cyclone to cancel that mass DP. Very nice here. And so it looks like Yumiko in a lot of trouble now, doesn't have a TP on him, and so he's just going to be forced to run away here. Very nice play here by Sky. Absolutely unbelievable use of that ultimate. As soon as it came out, he popped it, and that's just something that Yumiko really should have been aware of. I think that is a bit of a mistake by him, but so he's going to have to run away. He does fortunately have a bunch of units. He is managing to get away basically, but Yumiko getting this panda cyclone, and it is surrounded, and it looks like Sky actually Yumiko could use a mass TP now if he wanted, and it looks like actually, oh no, he's being cycloned again. Oh, I think mass TP will be off cooldown very soon. I think Yumiko might just be able to use it. I'm not entirely sure if he'll be able to use it in time though. He might well use his panda. And meanwhile, Sky's panda is very low as well. It looks like Yumiko has just about managed to get his panda away, and now Sky's panda in a lot of trouble. Yumiko gets off a brilliant breath of fire, kills the panda, gets level 6 himself, and now oh my god, Cyclone being used on Sky's Archmage. Sky really does have a healing potion at very least. No TP though. Really needs to get his panda back into the battle, because that earth, wind, and fire deals so much damage, and really Sky needs to get out of here. He does get surrounded on his Archmage. Archmage does have his healing potion, which does use, and now hits level 7 and just manages to get out of here. Oh my god, this Archmage is so low. He looks like he is just managing to get out of here with 70 hit points, and it looks like it's just going to become a heroless army now for Sky, who's continuing to fight, with all credit to him finally getting out here though. I think he lost a couple units more than he should, but it looks like he will just about be able to get out here, and he will lose a couple units more. Very, very close play here. Oh my god. And this Archmage using mass TP to get out here as soon as he knows he's safe, and TPing obviously to this Arcane Bolt. Gonna pick up an Arcane Scroll. I'm gonna need to heal up so many units now. Is he gonna? I wonder how much money he has in the bank. He's got not much money in the bank, and so I wonder, is he getting his? Yes, the panda is coming back. Oh my god, it's so late though. This guy gonna lose his expansion for sure. There's nothing he can do about it because he can't fight without a panda. Even though, Yumiko's panda is actually really low. This guy coming in here, Yumiko should probably try and get out of here now. You just use a mass DP. I mean, he has a small army, but he does have that panda, and that can be absolutely critical if he can heal it up. And he does just manage to get out of here. And he even, I'm not sure if it's intentional to leave water elementals, but it's pretty nice too. I mean, you can cancel healing on the Archmage, which is what he did manage to do. And so Sky going to be forced to use mass DP. Is he going to go for some harassment here? Yes, he is. And it looks like, oh my god, this could be so bad for Yumiko. He's going to lose at least all his peasants, and then you can see this guy knew that the army wasn't here, and that's so unfortunate for him. Yumiko really needs to defend this, to defend his expansion, because that is sort of the only thing that's keeping him ahead in this game. And this guy, maybe he'll be able to use mass TP to get out of here. He doesn't have a TP scroll, and Earth, Wind, and Fire definitely still on cooldown, so it looks like he does just get out of here. And you can see Sky really needs to stall for time now while this panda comes back. It's just about back out now, and it takes so long to get a level 6 panda back out. And oh my god, Sky really behind now, or actually not too far behind, just because he managed to stall for time, but he just needs to be able to do something. And meanwhile, this one breaker coming in here, Yumiko notices it. Unfortunately, the units aren't similar enough. Goes for a surround, doesn't quite get it, and this breaker is just free to continue on his way. I don't think it's worth Yumiko even chasing at this point. No, he's not going to go for it at this point. And Sky could use a mass DP, so this is to it. So it is something that Yumiko should be aware of. But I think Sky will want to wait a little while now that this panda is back out, just to regenerate a lot of mana. You get near that Archmage, just at very least. Even you can see he's using a mass DP. I wonder if he's worried about just being caught out by Yumiko's army, which obviously has such mobility at this point. This game just gets so crazy at this point, just TPing everywhere. It's basically free. It has such low cooldown. I think mass DP is probably the best pressed ultimate in the game. I mean, like Metamorphosis, things like that are all really fun and really strong, but mass DP just gives you such maneuverability. If it's ever a macro game, especially with a bunch of expansions out, there's no way you can fight against mass DP. And it's just so strong, especially when both players have it. There's one breaker just running rapid. Probably not even worth really mass TPing to here. It's sort of the expansion or nothing at this point, really. And looks like Sky sort of defending it. You can see he's watching for any units coming in, but there can just be invisible units, so there's really not too much you can do unless you want to stick right at your base. I think Sky's making the right decision here. He's just creeping this out. Gotta get a nice item, a small amount of gold, maybe a large amount of gold if you decide to sell the item, and so that's going to be probably one extra breaker, maybe two. Flute of Accuracy, he will just sell that because I think he still has. Oh no, did he? Did Sky sell the original Flute of Accuracy after me singing its praises? Oh, that's a bit surprising. It gives all your units +1 damage, which is pretty nice. I mean, I'm a bit surprised that Sky sold it, but he's good to keep it this time. And oh, maybe not. Or maybe just buy a healing score or something. No, looks like Sky not doing anything with his or not getting any items. I'm a bit surprised he doesn't have like a invuln pot or something. Obviously it can be pretty annoying if you get surrounded with a cyclone, and using that invuln pot can keep you alive for a bit longer, which can just like if it's your panda that gets surrounded, using an invuln pot while you use mass DP can be pretty useful. Mass DP coming in here by Sky. Just gonna be doing some more creeping. I really like his use of mass DP here to creep. It's just gonna mean that he can do so much. He can creep so effectively and not risk being put out of position for too long. And a boots of speed could be nice for either hero. Probably gonna be worth selling it at this point because actually getting around the map really isn't a problem at this point. And it looks like Sky gonna continue to be mining here. I wonder if it's more gold. I think it's probably about the same, 3,700 and 3,200. So Sky actually with a bit of a gold advantage here. Looks like he's not gonna be setting up an expansion there though. And actually using a mass TP to get in here, but actually Yumiko using a mass TP at exactly the same time. Very strong map awareness here by Yumiko. And looks like Sky actually gonna lose one breaker. So unfortunately that attack didn't go too well for him, and it looks like this one breaker will be able to run through because Sky just can't afford to stop. And looks like Sky maybe going to be going for some good positioning and then moving back. No, he's going for a mass DP to get out of here. And looks like actually Yumiko bringing his panda back into the battle. And Sky, he doesn't really need to heal up or anything. I think he probably, if like you can't really expand at this point, just because you're going to lose a couple units every time they mass DP, and it's just going to then mass DP out, and so it's really going to take a very long time for it to pay for itself, and so I think it's, unless you can get a really sneaky one off, it's probably not worth it, or if you can get another one that's just really close to your current expansion, it's just a bit too tricky really. And it looks like a Sky actually with this one breaker just running through here.